GM, welcome to another podcast episode. Today we have TK from Noice. TK, this is a really special one for me. So for context, we had Soumya Saxena from Base India on the podcast about a month ago. We ended up talking about the Indian ecosystem. We ended up talking about, how last cycle we had all these Polygon projects come out. The Indian cabal was there, the Indian ecosystem was growing and KG's left. But we hadn't seen any Indian projects come out this cycle, which was surprising, And Swami ended up saying like, "Hey, there's the Noice guys, and then there's the Send ecosystem guys." Later, I interacted with you and your team in the Incubase hackathon, which was awesome. So I really just wanted to bring you onto the podcast and just chat with you. How's it been? How's the journey been so far?
Great. A lot of luck, a lot of love, and a lot, a great range of like hustle. Um, and so yeah, I think we've been off to like a fairly great start in the past month. Um, for the uninitiated, what Noise essentially does is that you can now send crypto, any token of choice, straight from your feed. So whenever you're liking, commenting, following, code casting or recasting, any of these actions that you tend to do, like trillions of them on the internet every day, you could send them any token of your choice, how much ever you want. So the way we think of it is like micropayments and social interactions. In like the I think like it's been 5 weeks since launch and we've done like 2.1 million tips, probably amounted to like 150 odd $1,000. But like each tip is as small as like a cent or 2 cents. So we've seen like solid adoption from the Farcaster ecosystem specifically. Like we have like these 7,000 people who've done 2.1 million tips, which is quite absurd to think about. Um, and I just keep thinking about like, okay, like when I take this to 7 million and then 70 million and then probably like a billion, what does it look like? Why would they tip? What is the utility that you offer? So we don't really like think too much as a crypto product. Like I keep thinking a lot about like how likes were made mainstream 2 decades ago by Facebook. Um, the next question becomes like, can you add depth to likes? Can you financialize social interactions, right? Like we've already financialized some part of attention with like say influencer marketing at large or see brands and ads and at large, like net top down, you have 100% like the world has done a great job at like financializing attention. But like what I think is the atomic and the smallest unit of attention is a like. So like, I think we're going the exact opposite way. Um, just like off to a great start and now just thinking about like what do we do next? Like how do we take this to a few like yeah, scale?
And how did this start? Like, I remember seeing your tweets. Like, you were at Farcon. Was that where it started? Like, where did the idea come into life? Is this a hackathon project made into a serious project? Like, what's the story of the initial days?
It's like my co-founders Dev and Srijan like had been working on this thing like on a trading client on Farcaster called Cast Money. They've been working on it since September. I joined them in Jan. It was like a very sleek, beautiful web app. Obviously, like there was some amount of like base bears, winterish, along with the fact that there's a lot of friction. People already have like solid trading experiences. We couldn't find BMF for that, and then so April end, we decided to sunset it, and we didn't really like know much about what to do next. Like we really had no idea what to do next. Um, so we just flew to ParkCon, and we had like an idea around like, hey, like the idea started from the fact that look, there's say a post has 102 likes. How do I differ a Rachit's like from KG's like from TK's like? So we initially were thinking around like, hey, like with programmatic tipping, you could add utility to creator coins. That's how it began. Right. Like it didn't begin as just like programmatic tipping should exist standalone. It was more about like what this would do for creator coins. That's how we started thinking. Because creator coins had never worked. So obviously, like they're the most obvious opportunity if you can crack it. I'm aware of like what are the four red flags and why I likely not go close to it right now. But that's where it began. That okay, like maybe Rachit token can only be earned; it can't be bought. And so if Rachit likes you, you get Rachit's token, and I can then burn that token to get a like by Rachit, to get a follow by Rachit, to get on a call with Rachit. So it's sort of like a timed out fun element, but instead of buying those minutes, you have to earn the minutes. That's how we started thinking about it. Like it's so complicated, right? When you think of it. Um, and then we actually shipped it too, right? Like we on the day one on launch day, like Noice was very different. The first MVP actually at Falcon, we showed people creator tokens. Like we're like, hey, look, you can launch a creator token like this way, and then we actually built it out, and we're like, oh, you can tip this, and then we actually showed them the entire flow where somebody like you set your own price for your like, comment, follow, etc. And people come and like send you a request for it. It's like sort of like Instagram. It was like it had four tabs: requested, completed, rejected, sent. Right? Okay, you've done this. You have to respond here. You've already sent this, whatever. And then as soon as we launched, we saw that like what people really like fucked with is like the idea of um, programmatic tipping, like DJ and Moxie, a bunch of people have tried tipping, like TN100X Ham, a bunch of people on Farcaster, but it was like always like super spammy and like high friction. And what we like got right with programmatic tipping was the fact that it's happening invisibly, right? So like it doesn't destroy your feed. It doesn't. You don't even, and you don't have to move a single muscle, right? You're literally moving money by doing the exact same thing that you've always done. And this part, moving money while my existing behavior remains, is what like I'm now obsessed with. That what are some other behaviors that already exist and how can I move money without a user having to do anything new, but me making that process more efficient or more economically, like helping them make money or helping them reward people without moving a single muscle is what I keep thinking a lot about. But yeah, that's how. Sorry, like, I think I segue a lot, so like just stop me any second that you feel like I'm just going off. But yeah, that's how we began, and then we realized like look, creator tokens has like a lot of caveats. We'll do it later. Let's just stick with USDC and programmatic tipping. Day two, all of a sudden we have like 30 people who've asked us that, hey, can I tip my token? And we were like, absolutely. Right. Like although we did launch Noice token on day zero, we never ever wanted to like force fit your tip Noice. Right. Because like everybody has done that before and it just didn't make sense to us. We were just like, look, it's a great utility to for a token, but it's also like done and dusted. Like I never liked it. I never liked tipping a specific token. Why should I not tip whatever I believe in? Like which is why like belief should be liquid is something that we've always like thought that okay, anything that you believe in, you should be able to like send it to tens and thousands of people and they should be able to send whatever they believe in to you. And so yeah, custom tokens began like all of a sudden, like there was 70, like Jacob from Zora, Jesse, who bases for everyone, or all the people who are running Whales and Clanker and Banker and everything, they started tipping their own token. And then eventually we made it live for anybody to tip their own token. Initially, we just gave it to like creators, and then eventually, like anybody could tip any token of choice. And
Yeah.
we're also launching another feature today, but like, yeah, that's the summary so far.
Yeah, like one thing I'm super interested is it's not been that much time since you guys launched, but I already see like you have like a cult following and a really interesting following on at least on the Farcaster side of Twitter. Always see you guys being mentioned in these weekly kind of alpha kind of wrap ups and stuff. So that's super interesting. How did you guys like bootstrap this initial group of fans? Was it through your airdrop? How did you guys approach your launch? I said your launch went really well. How did you guys think about it? Because you're tapping into a niche community on Farcaster, the like power users of this platform, and you already have this group of people who are actively, tipping, and you have this group of creators already. How did you approach that bootstrapping of in the initial community?
I've actually been hearing that TK is
Right.
like
So
Roy
first,
Lee of
like,
India. So that's also like an interesting analogy.
what?
Uh, I've been hearing a lot of
What
people
TK
say
is? What?
TK is the Roy Lee of India. Like he's gonna he's gonna truly.
No, man. No, man. No, I mean,
Attention
I definitely,
everything.
no, I mean, I actually don't think I've done like justice to like the amount of attention I can actually pull. Like, and this is something I keep saying internally that like I really think I'm at like 5% of what I can actually do with attention. I genuinely don't think like while it has been great and it has been very warm from people about like, hey, like y'all are doing good stuff. Like, I think it's still like such a small echo chamber that I don't really. It's great, like because you 10,000 people know about you out of which like 1,000 people really like you and 100 people are super fans. So we've done like a great job so far. But like the idea is that okay, like how are you going to get 100 million people to like know about you? So I think it's fairly smallly done. Second thing, airdrop wasn't like is going to happen like probably like Monday. I think yeah, day after is when you're doing the airdrop. So like we haven't like done any airdrops so far. Um, with respect to like two things, right? Like obviously, as soon as I flew to Farcon, I just talked to two people. I met Dan and I met Jesse, and I told them about this. And I didn't meet anybody because I was just like, look, I don't really like talking till I have something to show for it. So I didn't actually maximize the trip to the greatest extent I should have. Like I barely talked to anyone because I was just like, either I have a live product and I talk to people, or if I don't, then they need to see it. Um, so honestly, like because of the cast money context, because of Div and Srijan specifically being on far, like their FIDs 377 and 409 out of like 1.5 million. So they were like super early. Um, so they knew people. So in those 15 days, we sent hundreds of DMs to every person they followed or really had a relationship with that, hey, we're doing something like this. 80%, like probably like 70% of them didn't see a point in it or didn't enjoy it, so on and so forth, etc. Right? But like thankfully 30% people did. So on day zero of launch, we already had like 50 people who were already like Mike from Rainbow was using it, Jesse was using it, and a bunch of people who were already using it. So that gave us like some sort of like, oh, they have some legitimacy. But more than that, like I think the launch part, right? Like to be honest, like it's when I look back, I now it makes sense to me, but I was really winging it. We were all really winging it because whether it's like all the videos that we do, or whether it's QR like coin, we use QRs, that QR code, or whether it's working of DMs, or whether it's shipping fast, none of those things are really like engineered. Like they were just like, okay, look, like we have such less time and we just have to do like whatever idea comes in your mind, you probably give it like 2 minutes. If it makes sense, just go for it. You think of the leanest way to like go for it. Videos were never the plan. Like I just like we decided that okay, a day before we were just like, hey, look, what if like we started doing like features and launches and etc. with like videos. And then we just did it. Didn't like really think too much about like I don't have a content engine, I never have inventory. I have none of that going well for me. I just am. Yeah, there's a very sweet video that's probably actually it's not a sweet video. It's like probably going to be like sort of NSFW video coming tomorrow or day after. And then I'm just like, okay, these are still good, but like I need 100 fucking million views. Like what am I going to do to like actually get attention? So I think you just do everything, man. I think we think too much about attention, and I've thought too much about attention in my past life, and now I've just learned that fuck it, like people have a goldfish memory. If you do something wrong, they'll forget about it. If you do something right, the upside is too high. So with the launch, like I DM'd like I was in like 150 DMs, and I was just texting everybody about it, and um, I just told them that this is what we're doing. And even then, like the idea was so different though. The funny thing is that the idea was so different then. The idea was so different on launch. The idea is so different 2 weeks ago. The idea was so different till I flew to India, and the idea is a bit different today. So like the greatest thing about us internally is that we're all like solid truth seekers. Like all of us have seen so many failures by now. Like this is my fourth company now. Shrijan and Dave, they've been grinding for the last 8-9 years. Deffolio, Clarisites, Cast Money, East India. They've done like a bunch of things here and there. So we've sort of grown into like zero bullshit ways, right? We're like, look, who are we like? Whom are we like? If it's not working, we can see it, and if it's working, then we double down on it. So we're like fairly truth seeking. Like even if something's working, I'm very like our day 30 is 93%, right? But I still tell the team that guys, I do not think USDC tipping is sustainable. For whatever reason, my instinct is that people with a token, people who are whales of a certain token, have a lot more incentive to tip. But altruism isn't like a great enough reason for people to keep tipping forever. Like at least like the social media rule is 90% lurkers, 9% engage, 1% create, right? 9 and 1 TK, you've got them covered. But the 90%, which is like a great mass of like people who've been tipping, why will they continue tipping if they're every day bleeding money and they're never making money, right? Like altruism won't go far. Like maybe they're farming, maybe they're doing this. You have to really think it through. But number wise, I'm doing so great, right? And I know that I hope it continues. But I'm also like we're also like super skeptic and very reality first, right? Like if something goes wrong, like we're super quick
Yeah,
to
that
like.
makes a lot of sense. And honestly, going back to the videos, TK. So there are no like $50 an hour interns. Like it's all like in house. It's all you guys doing it. Do you have any advice for founders out there who are trying to follow a similar line of storytelling, but they don't have the resources, or they think that they don't have the time? Any advice for them on how you guys think about it internally?
I mean, yeah, the first thing is that I actually didn't have a lot of resources till now. Like the first few videos, like whether I'm out of a shower or whether it's Eat Mango Make Money, which got posted by Baze, A lot of those videos were really like just winging it. Like it's an iPhone camera. You have 12 hours to come up with an idea and you just go ham with it, right? Like you just like I just have like two incredibly talented boys now, who edit, who filmmake, who have insanely good taste. So like now a lot of my job is just like really telling them what they should do, but they have like a lot of taste. So like I landed into that like probably 3 weeks into launch. Like the first 3 weeks, I'm just trying to do everything. What I would really tell people, and this is what I've been like saying in like a couple of like times I've been asked this, is just that you have to be like you have to really be yourself. There is absolutely no way, um, except like trying to be somebody, but just like whatever the style of storytelling may be, it's going to go redundant. I have told the team that boys, like we're doing a great job, people love us, but trust me when I say 5 more videos like these and they're fatigued. You have to think about like what can we do that changes the flavor of these videos or storytelling or content in general. Because fatigue is so quick, right? Like nobody really cares too much. They like it, but which fucking brain rotted, right? Like you have to like really iterate. So I would just anybody who's trying to like make videos, I would just be like, dude, like you have a decent enough phone, get a $300 tripod. There's a bazillion LUTs on the internet there, so which will help you like color grade. Just learn like the few basic types of like edits and cuts that you need in a simple video, and just go with it. Your first one's going to be horrific. At Ripen, we did like 400 videos in 2 years, which is where I know some part of like, which is where I just know, okay, there are some things that I can do. I still haven't figured out like how my storytelling and script can be optimized for virality. Right? Like, how am I going to get like a million views on an average? Like, I still haven't figured that bit out. So I'm learning too. I don't know much, to be very honest. And but when I figure it out, right, I'm going to have like a combination that's incredibly lethal. Um, with like an insanely solid product, a token to speculate at the side, and like pretty killer storytelling. When that comes together, like you have a magnanimous outcome. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry again, I segued, but like just
That makes sense. And
like,
like TK, you keep on saying like a billion views and like all these users will come and use noise. Do you and this I'd love to hear your take on this because crypto Twitter's take is very different from like the base and Farcaster ecosystem. Do you guys think that Noice's growth is limited to Farcaster's growth? Uh,
100%, man. That's the only thing that doesn't let me sleep every night, right? Like, we've always known that, like, from day zero, right? Like, that, okay, Twitter is like the play. Twitter is the $1 billion play here. Or whatever, like, other platforms are the $1 billion plays. Farcast is great to build, like, get your first 10,000 users, get a foot in the door, validate the idea. Uh, it doesn't let me sleep. It's something that I talk to my co-founders and my team about 4 hours a day. What are the legitimate ways we do this? What do we want to do? It's not almost always about like what the data says. It's also about do you want to do it? Like there is a Kaito like play which is exact opposite of Kaito. Kaito goes top down. I can go bottom up. I can like there's micro incentives like something we're doing magnanimously. It's a feature called clamps. We did it with like a bunch of people last week where instead of like one-to-one tipping, we did one-to-many. So if somebody does a certain action, like they like the post, they use the word noise, or they bought a certain token above $10 from their Farcaster wallet, whatever on-chain verifiable action, I can instantly like programmatically tip you for it. So I don't even have to go manually like it. If Rachit's wallet has $1,000 and he said anybody who uses the word wormhole, or anybody who posts on this channel, or anybody who likes this cast will get $1 off wormhole, the wormhole token, right? So we're doing that. But then
Yeah.
I realized, look, like I bottom down, like I know this is insane for product launches and features, and like anybody who's doing a launch, somebody dropped 8 fucking thousand on like a new feature and he's had like the best day ever since he launched his product. So like there are some things that are doing well, but then I ask myself a question like, do I want to do this? And the answer is no. It's not compelling enough for me. Like even if it makes me a few million and it's great, like I could build a Kaito like product, I do not think it changes the internet or it changes the crypto landscape. So I don't think if I do it. I don't.
has
Like
the
you
has the
also
Yeah.
forecaster team come back to you and said that after Noise launched we've seen more usage? Is that a conversation
oh
you
yeah
have?
yeah actually met Dan. When I was in I think I flew down to LA for like a day just to meet Dan and spend time and get an idea of like what we should do better and what we've done so far. Uh, can you hear me? Am
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
breaking for y'all every now and then?
No, it's
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, actually met Dan. And there's a bunch of articles on it now, But yeah, like in like 90 days, like the week they've had the highest number of signups, weekly active users, uh, activity was our launch week. Was literally the launch, like the next day after launch is like their highest signups in like 3 months, like 21,000 odd people, right? Uh, on like a single day. So I think we've definitely done a few things right, but it doesn't matter. It's still not enough to move the needle. Like my question to like our conversation was just about like, okay, like how are we going to go from like 30,000 active users every day to 3 million active users every day? 20,000 is not going to cut it. Like what we need to figure out is like how do we 100x this? I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of piggybacking. I'm not a fan of piggybacking on some other platforms, right? Like I will never like willingly put my destiny and my success into some other team or some other platform. As much as I love them and I bet on them, I eventually have to graduate and spin out of the Farcaster protocol. Like even the Coinbase wallet is a great opportunity, right? Like it's going to ideally bring a few million people over the next 6 odd months. Um, is it still enough? I wonder, right? Because it's the answer is likely that I'm bullish on them. I love building on base, but I want to beat base, right? Like I want to beat Farcaster in their own, like in some way. I want to get bigger than them, and I can't do them if I'm a part of them. So it's something we keep thinking a lot about. We have a lot of data points, we have a lot of intuition, and we have a lot of insights. A few things are coming together. A few things we're already sure of that. Okay, like this is something we won't do. In the meanwhile, we're just testing a great range of features. We're just like, look, this is a great opportunity. We have traction. We should test everything possible on this network for the next probably like 30 odd days. But we have to make a hard decision and figure out
yeah.
what's our platform play, what is our spin-off play to like 100 million potential users, right? Or 10 million potential users. Right, this is just something I spend a lot of my time.
Yeah, I think like for me, the most interesting play is Twitter, right? Like I think Farcaster is great, but I spend I'm chronically online. I don't spend my time on Farcaster because I know that there's like a target audience for that, and but the majority of general like public and who is always online, they spend the time on Twitter. And like I was curious because Twitter also has this tipping feature. I mean, it's not well known, but it does have it, and it has this creator monetization, Elon bucks that we call it. How do you kind of see that play when you guys integrate with Twitter? Is it like targeting smaller creators who don't normally get that monetization enabled? How are you guys thinking about it? Because there's already a layer of monetization on Twitter right now, and people seem to be eating well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so the idea initially was that we were told that okay, we get access to like they have an enterprise API which costs like $50,000 a month, and we were comfortable. We said like okay, we'll figure it out. That's largely the biggest reason why we did a token was to bootstrap enough liquidity to be able to pay for that API. Um, and then when I flew down there, obviously I learned a lot of like new features and new things that they've been working on internally, and they have like a massive spam and Sybil problem and bots problem that they're facing right now. And I think in some way, like Noice would make it worse, right? So like because like if I know Rachit's like is set at $1 each time he posts something, I'm just gonna spam his comments hoping he likes me back, right? So like there's a few of those nuances where um, being on Twitter is net negative. The net positive part is like anybody can earn their first crypto via Twitter, right? Like we've like really I've had like a lot of conversations with their team. A lot because like what I need to do, I need the enterprise API access, right? And the API access needs you to like go through like a lot of rounds. Um, Again, everybody's had a tipping feature. You cannot like, which is why I don't think like tipping was just a GTM play. Like tipping is just like the convenient word for it. But what you have to think about is like invisibly sending someone money on the feed, right? Like, because tipping is, oh, you go to their account, you first you need so much intention, dude. Like that is the biggest friction point. There's so much. Have you ever tipped anybody on Twitter? I've never tipped anybody on Twitter. But like in 3 weeks, I've tipped like so much on Farcaster. Like probably like 10,000 times worth like $500, right? Because it's happening invisibly. The entire merit of Noice, the entire thing that we've gotten right, a great part of it is the programmatic tipping part, where you just set it up once and you forget it. It's a set and forget app. You set it up, you forget it. Every night you're just reminded that, hey, look, you made $17 today and you tipped $3 today. That's all I tell you. You don't have to like manually go and do something, which is a massive friction point. Massive friction point. Which is why tipping on any social media has not worked so far, is because it requires so much intention for a user to go someplace, tap on 7 buttons, decide a specific amount that they want to tip, and then end up doing. Right. So
Yeah.
I'm never worried about these guys having these features. Like my UX would definitely be a Delta 4. Like I'm very clean and clear on it that the way we are approaching it is a complete Delta 4 efficiency. But the issue with centralized platforms and centralization in general, the reason why crypto came to life is the fact that there's inefficiencies in banks
Yeah,
or
and
social media platforms.
I can probably take it more like deeper. KG, like think about it. Like the only reason why Kaito exists is because pre-TG projects want to incentivize people with their future token, right? Like, I mean, they could also tip USD directly to people that are engaging with them, right? Like, I think that whole InfoFi narrative is essentially tipping. And I mean, you're like the biggest bear of that, and you've just been saying like it's fucked up Twitter to an extent. um, so I think it's super interesting. But I think one thing that I want to progress more into, TK, is like you said that creator coins don't work. I'm sure you've done a lot of research into like friend tech and all these different models. What exactly doesn't work in those models? Like, what's like the bear case
I
there?
mean, yeah, I mean, okay, so I haven't actually done a lot of research. It's like intuitive answers is all I have, and like this conversation, etc. I've been in crypto for like 5 months. So as well as context, I do have from friend tech, etc., so on and so forth. What I think is the reason why pump, clanker, bonk, etc. works is because they're highly unserious. You as Ratchet could launch like 30 tokens a day and nobody would flinch an eye. But like when you're associating a token to your name, the stakes go up dramatically higher, right? The stakes just go up dramatically higher. So like straight off the bat, 90% of the people are out of the window because they will never attach their name to a speculative asset, especially their name, right? Like I'm thinking mainstream. I'm not thinking crypto make creator coins to each other. I'm thinking just like generally mainstream. Like why would anybody want to associate a speculative asset to their name? Second is obviously the utility part. What is the utility of that? I think Time Fund's doing a great fucking job there. And I think they will eventually figure out a utility layer to like somebody's individual creator tokens. Um, Third being that much like how the power law exists, only 0.1% people on the internet are virtually valuable. Like you might be valuable to your friends, but you're not valuable to the internet in a way where they'd buy 100 million
Even
of
less.
yours.
Like I would say only like 2 bips of people on the internet are actually valuable if you think about it. Like not even zero
Probably,
point.
right? Yeah, yeah. Probably, right? Like probably 100%. So the point is being that the rule of thumb applies to crypto Twitter at large too, or just generally. So like eventually, like given a month of like everybody's launching tokens, everybody's buying everything, but eventually it's just gonna go settle straight so extremely tight to the deep end that like 0.2, 0.5% of the tokens will still have like any holding and any volume, and the rest will just die. Vis-a-vis like meme coins, while follow the same rule, but everybody starts on the flat ground. Everybody, there is no virtual edge to a meme coin, right? Like because like the name doesn't like obviously the name matters, the meme matters, etc. But it's not the following. You can always build it up. Versus like creator, you're betting on a person, their history, their experience, their past, what are they doing, what are they going to do next, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I'm also against like tokenizing everything. Like I mean at least like yet I haven't built a very strong conviction thesis on why everything should be tokenized. I think every different asset class deserves a different mechanic. Not all asset classes can be treated the same way. Like real estate being tokenized, tricky, not very straightforward. Same happened with NFTs, right? Like why do NFTs not exist? Like it was art that should have been tokenized, but why is it not mainstream now? Because probably that form factor of tokenizing NFTs doesn't make sense. Probably auction houses and museums and historians are the right way to value art and not digitally, right? Like so when you put the wrong form factor to a kind of asset, like things don't work. And I think creator coins are such that I don't think you can speculate on like a person's I don't even know whatever utility they have. Like maybe your Banger Twitter. Like maybe I could invest in you as a creator if I'm exposed to your profits or your brand deals and so on and so forth in the future. It would actually make sense. Otherwise, like I just don't think it makes sense, or at least not enough for it to have PM.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like the KG. It's like the popular tweet: "Only fans daughter or some fun son." Uh,
yeah.
that's
Like I
the
had like
Probably, man.
I wanted
Probably.
to like I wanted to ask like with I'm generally like bearish on InfoFi, like anything that's just you can easily game it irrespective of how awesome your algorithm is, but it's still kind of you know low signal for me. Like I say this
100%.
like I say this all the time, like if a project is giving away an insane supply to people on launch, I'm like, go short that thing, right? Like, why is something you think that is so valuable, you're giving it away for just few likes and comments? I always think in that
Hmm.
way. Uh,
Hmm.
but don't you think like when you are incentivizing the likes, comments, everything, where people will like at least the ones who are aware, they'll game it to a certain degree, and they will mean less and less over time. How do you like think about where everything is incentivized in this crypto world and the actual value of attention is not how you perceive it? Like, do you think about that stuff?
No, 100%. I think what I've learned and agreed to the fact. So, look, again, DJ and Moxie, all of the tipping products that have existed, there was a lot of house money at play, right? There's a lot of house money. Like, there would be a lot of free money. There was a free money problem that you're getting allowances, etc., etc. The way Noise works is very simple. There is no free money. If you have money, you're sending your own money. Nobody's giving you any money. Like, if you've been tipped, then sure, pay it forward. But I'm not pumping in new money into the economy so that you can tip somebody and my token goes up. I'm not doing any of that shit. Like I'm just like, if you have $10 in your wallet, tip $10. If you have none, you tip none. It's as simple. So like, which is the reason why it ends up becoming a bit more sustainable, right? Like it's, I'm not saying it still deserves a place to exist for like 5 years. I do not know that answer. I'm figuring that bit out about like what exactly exists for like 5 years with micropayments and social interactions. But you're 100% right. There's so many bad actors, dude. Like it's insane. It's absurd the amount of spam you get, and which is why I'm saying that I know I could take a kite to like way to noise in a way because 70% of the tokens right now are non-USDC tokens, right? So like it's very obvious that people who have their own token or are whales of a certain token have found a lot of merit in tipping their own token. So in an ideal way, like any smart person would be like, okay, look, like let me switch from being a consumer product to start helping people who have their own token, have et cetera, and build a toolkit for them to reward their token to a billion people. Right? Like, that's the most pragmatic data first answer that I could give you today. The reason I'm not doing it is because it's inauthentic, is because it's inorganic, is because it's net negative, is it's because it's gamifiable, and it's because like the value of attention will dramatically go down and you're just incentivizing civilian bots, right? So I'm fully with you on the fact that over a long period of time it doesn't help. Over a short period of time it gives you a spark, but will somebody do this like 100 times over? Likely not, right? Do I want to see that on my feed 100 times over? Likely not. So I won't build it. Like I'm very sure I won't build it. I'd rather like stick to like just Farcaster and base than end up becoming something that just increases spam and like incentivizes the wrong things or the wrong people. Um, it's a very interesting market though. Like when I think about it, like Kaita has say 80 people, right? Like Kaita has 80 customers that pay them like 150K or they make like 12, 13 mil so far. It's the 81st to the 8,000th project is a very interesting space, right? Like people who do not have 150K, but definitely probably are pre-TG, have like a pre-seed of like a couple million or have a token which is at probably like 5, 10, 15, 20 million, but can't close like 150K. There is definitely something that you could build for them, which doesn't cost 150K a year. And I do find that exciting. But again, as long as I don't lead to an answer which is net positive to crypto Twitter or crypto in general, I won't do it. Otherwise, what will happen is these projects will pay like 10K. I will get them like a few thousand likes and interactions and etc. And then those people will churn out and they'll be like a part of like 100 communities and nobody will win. Everybody will have some likes, views, and comments and engagement, but they will not have any sustainability to it. And then I won't do it because I just don't see it. So yeah, that's the TLDR. I haven't I
Mm,
I'm building my
Heat,
opinion on this, but this is what I feel
have
so far.
you like everything that the team does, is it all focused on crypto Twitter right now? Like, have you thought about the world beyond Twitter yet?
Oh, yeah, I think about the world all the time. Like actually, after I talked to the Twitter team, and I was like, oh, okay, like I see a lot of roadblocks as to like why this doesn't work, at least in the near future. All I've been thinking about is like, what do you do for the rest of the world? But at the same point in time, there's two ways to think about it. Either you, again, like you make 100 people really love you, and then you gradually work your way up, or you, if you have like insane, if you have like a very specific mission and clarity that, oh, this is what I'm going to do, then you go for 100 billion people straight. I do not exactly know what I do for 100 billion people straight in terms of the product. I know that I want to like add value to lives. I want to help people make their first dollar, um, just via content. Skip all the platform nonsense. Skip all the ads. Whatever is going on right now, like what if like a 13-year-old who just posted a nice meme makes his first dollar on the internet via that, right? Like I think a lot about that. But what is the form factor of the product that does that? I haven't landed on the best answer yet. Um, but no, like I actually I'm not a crypto Twitter native, right? So like I I'm just not a crypto Twitter native. So like I actually spend a lot more time talking to my parents or like people who are not in crypto, or even like all of my Twitter was non-crypto, right? Because I wasn't in crypto for so long. So like the most interesting conversation that I have are with people who have no fucking context of this place. And they ask the best questions. They're like, Heath, why do people tip? And I'm like, you're 100% right. Why do people tip? Like whatever answer I give you is a bullshit answer. Whether I say, oh, they want to tip and curate great content, I would be like, yeah, that's probably like a great answer for like 3 months, but is it going to sustain over 5 years? Likely not. Right? Like, why would I want to do that? So there's, I'm still figuring it out, but like I think and spend a
Um,
lot more time with people outside, and I build for these small sort of people. So it keeps
yeah,
me in touch with like what should I do short term and how is it aligned to like something that's audaciously long term.
yeah. I think one thing that I do want to say on the pod, like, if you guys end up building this for a couple more years, I think the thesis plays out this way. All right, that's
Yeah,
how I would imagine
100%.
it. I see Base and like Jesse in particular focusing a lot on USDC adoption, especially with cafes. Like you can buy coffee with USDC, all of that. Hopefully, Farcaster gets to a place where a lot of American retail joins in the hopes that this is like Coinbase affiliated. You can get a Coinbase wallet. You have a social media like platform which is associated with Coinbase, and you can get alpha on Farcaster. That's what I think is like the Farcaster use case. Eventually, you'll see a lot of the stores that are enabling USDC join Farcaster, and they'll start doing a lot of promotional activity. Instead of running Instagram ads, they'll focus a lot more on Farcaster native marketing. And then you'll see a tool like Noice come in where it's like, okay, instead of liking or commenting or doing any sort of interaction, if you come into the store, you buy a coffee and you post about it, I'll tip you like half the coffee back. That's how I would imagine the thesis playing out. Is that fairly closer to what you guys have thought about, or any conversations that you've had?
Yeah. I mean, ad networks, right? Like you just you ideally think about like, look, social media, Web2 social has had like these ad networks and inefficiencies. Open social will have decentralized ad networks. What do they look like? How does money flow peer to peer? How are we enabling that? One of the most obvious answers, yes, but there are two. There is just a look. There's one word where you have a platform risk, which essentially means what if the Coinbase wallet app, what if the Farcaster app doesn't work? Um, so that is A. If as long as it works, you have like like we have a billion things that you could do and would be that would be like fucking exceptional and super simple to do. Right? Like very clear on what I'd do if there was no platform risk. But there is a platform risk. Right? Like what if they don't grow? Like Farcaster has plateaued for a while. Coinbase wallet is coming very, very soon. I'm betting on Jesse and the team, yes. But social is super hard to crack, even with infinite money, even with infinite things. It can be trickier if your value prop is missing. So like what is the biggest reason that I'm fighting against these four apps? What Coinbase wallet will ideally go for is like, hey, look, this is where you earn money on chain, right? Like whether it's via tipping or whether it's via content coins or whether it's via XYZ, we're working like very deeply and like I have like we're on their Slack. That's how like that we're just like really, really working as closely as we can with them. But like it's still like there's still a platform risk. So there's a world where there's platform risk, and there's a second world where I'm betting on open social. That look, like I'm 100% sure open social goes to 100 million people. Sure, like I'd be a decentralized ad network. Like I'd build like so many solutions for every business possible to like come hit like 10,000 people straight out the bat in like a minute, a million people tomorrow. I'd 100% do it. What if open social doesn't grow? Which is what the
Yeah,
which is what the world has been for the last last decade. Billions have been poured into like blue skies and Farcasters, and there's nth decentralized networks now, right? Like, why have they not worked? And what do you do if it continues, right? Which is the second, and then you have to like start thinking about. It's like we're already building for open social. You're already on open social, so we're like coming up with like as many features, doing as many experiments. But at the same point in time, I'm just thinking about, okay, look, low probability that this works. We're all against the odds. How do I hedge myself? Is there something more ambitious and audacious outside of open social with the same primitive of moving money via content, like just moving money or crypto just via likes and comments and followers? What more can I do? So there are some like curation ideas. There are some protocol plays. I won't get into the nuance, but there's like broadly some these Kaito plays. Like okay, you can go bottom up, go sell to like people who have a token, or you have like an ad network-ish piece where if the Web3 wave comes in again, like I think Web3 crypto blockchain won't come again. It's finding a combination of what agents or slash AI will do with crypto. That will be the next meta in all likelihood, right? Like over the next 3 5 years, like that's where I see institutions and Fortune 500 starting to pay attention to us again. Is going to be when those things come together in a meaningful way, not in like a virtuals or like something which is just like AI slop, content slop, none of that bullshit. Like when it's actually like super meaningful that okay, agents and AI and crypto and blockchain make this new paradigm of behavior possible. That is when kuch hoga. That is when like where I see ki, okay. That is when I think like Web2 companies will start paying attention to crypto again. Stablecoins, great adoption. Like we are piggybacking off of a base. We're going to be helping them with a bunch of like micropayments plays that they can like pitch and win over Fortune 500s with. But it's just like a super steep, super long curve. It's the most obvious way we think it wins, which is why we're all fucking spending hours and days and weeks building it. Doesn't mean that it's what the world wants. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean that it solves a problem just yet. Stablecoins definitely solve a problem, so I'm quite bullish on them. But yeah, let's just see.
for sure. And on the topic of ad networks, do you talk to the base ads team like AGM, Austin, those
Yeah,
guys?
yeah. I mean, actually, I'm flying again. I'm flying on the 15th to LA just to like hang out with the team. 16th is like the massive event. Noice is going to be pitching on stage. Noice is doing a bunch of things on stage. So I'm quite excited to like hang out with them. But I've just met Jesse the most actually. Like I haven't spent a lot of time in person with the rest of the team. So I look forward to like the coming weekend. And I'm hoping I can have like better conversations on ad networks. Like we've had like very superficial, high level conversations. I don't think I've had the time to like, or I've had their time to go in depth. So
Super
actually, the
interesting.
answer is no.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I think at some point you'll explore that as well. I think it's too early for that. Like also, okay, so what comes next for you guys? Like maybe in the next 3 months, how are you guys seeing noise evolving? Uh, that's my first question. Like one thing I was thinking of, there's like other social apps besides Farcaster, like the Arena app on Avalanche is, I mean, it's not, I don't know the numbers on activity, but it's doing some, it has some decent mind share. Is that like, do you guys think of yourself as a tipping composable layer for all social apps in that way where everyone can use you guys in for the programmability aspect and yeah.
yeah. I mean, again, same answer. Just is that do you think open social is where the internet heads towards? Right, like uh, being a micropayments proxy for like a lot of social products is right up there. Like it's something that does make a lot of sense for us, whether it's Avalanche or whether it's like Dig or whether it's Farcast or whether it's Lens or whether it's Blue Sky, whether it's Firefly, whether it's Mask, whatever. Like there's every chain has like a few social plays happening. The question is like, do you think there's 100 million home run anywhere? Not 100 million money wise. I'm saying 100 million users. Do you actually think open social is the next wave of the internet? Um, we could very simply be this composable layer, but there is no moat. There is actually just zero technical moat in being a composable layer for microtransactions. There is no rocket science to it, right? So you have to then think about sure, like you could have distributions and great partnerships, and maybe that's your way to win. But do you want to like stick to open social? Like, do you just want to be an open social baby, or do you want to like try to figure out something else? For now, what we are thinking about is everything around like, oh, look, like what is a mainstream play? If you don't find something, then you probably have to like figure all the things you could do in open social across any chain, right? Like I mean, we already supported Arbitrum. We're coming up, like we're going to support native ETH. We are going to support Solana. Anybody who's like ideally going to be on Farcaster or Farcaster clients, we'll help them. But again, not needle moving. Like it's not needle moving enough for me to be like, wow, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or this is what I want to do for the next 3 years. Um, I'm really like we all take like 3 weeks at a time in a way where like we all are obsessively working, but we also know that every day we are changing and iterating how to think and how to be and how to just build, right? So like uh, the creator coins were in the play, and now they're not. Right? Like on the fourth day, I actually knocked them out from my head. I was just like, I don't want to be a casino. I want to help every other casino on any other chain. I want to help like any casino on any chain to like help reach net new users. I find that to be more interesting than trying to be a casino, the nth casino that ends up failing after 3 weeks or
Yeah.
3 months if you're lucky. Right? So like just thinking it through, man. Like, I think there's a lot of directions. All of them are interesting, exciting. As I said, like it's a lot of data has to come together, intuition has to come together, and something that's
Yeah.
invisible to the world but visible to you has to come together. So, few directions. You will hear from us as soon as like we do take hard decisions and radical shifts in how we're functioning.
Can we tip
Awesome.
Fartcoin Noise right now?
Sorry, can we?
Can you tip Fartcoin on Noise right now?
You can tip base Fartcoin. You can tip the base and Arbitrum tokens right now. Solana tokens, like we are almost right. Like we have the POC. I could make it live. It's just that Solana people aren't on Farcaster. Why do I spend 3 weeks of my engineering bandwidth or 2 weeks of my engineering bandwidth on something which is not going to move the needle? If
That's
Solana, like if I see a Solana, if you see if you see a Solana influx the next weekend, yeah, the next weekend you will see us like integrating all Solana tokens. It's not hard. It's very straightforward.
yeah.
There's no
That's,
merit to it.
that's
Like,
the
kya
context.
karunga
Like
main?
KG is like a really big Fartcoin enthusiast. Like we would have flipped Ford and just done incentive cap
Enthusiast.
Fartcoin.
Anyway,
Yeah.
TK, we're on time. We usually ask all our guests this question. Uh, what's your number one advice? I think your take can be really different because you have this. You've not been in Web3 for a long time, and you're building something really novel. Not novel, but something really interesting. Uh, what's your number one advice for people building in SocialFi or InfoFi or whatever you want to call it? What's your number one advice?
I think like SocialFi is definitely a place where you can't be too delusional because like you have to put the users above your intuition. There is no slow. Like I just spitball like a bunch of things off my head, right? Like I don't think SocialFi has a slow grind. In SocialFi, if you get something right, you either win or pack up, get in touch with reality, accept that you lost because your thesis doesn't work, and move on to the next opportunity. Like that's one. Um, know that no like choose your models, right? Like choose your role models. I do not have a single role model in SocialFi because I think like everybody did something right and etc. But like who's won? Nobody, right? So like you shouldn't like just don't hero worship someone just because they have like 10,000 users or they have like 40 million in their bank. Uh, have they like really done what they wanted to do, not the attention and validation they've gotten? So like stay away from that a tad bit. I think the strongest one would be like stay so much in touch with reality. Like just get out of your head and just stay so much in touch with reality that you can objectively take the best decisions. The worst part about like founders or people trying to build things is they're subjectively so emotionally close to what they're doing that they can't see it clearly as to what the right decision is because their emotions and attachments are in play. So especially with SocialFi, right? Like it tends to happen that oh, you think this is going to change the world, but it likely won't. Um, so it's like stay as much in touch with reality. Talk to the users. They actually know a lot more about like the users are never wrong. Is a SocialFi rule I've made now for myself is that the users are never wrong. I could be wrong, but they're not wrong. And be relevant. I think just try to figure out like just you can relaunch 43 times. Like I'm thinking of relaunching Noise next weekend because I'm like, why the fuck not? Like I've changed so much since I launched the first time a month ago. I should be relaunching this, right? So like Keep relaunching till you arrive to a narrative and a product and a use case that is a problem solver that people resonate with. You'll iterate like a bazillion times. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking remembers. You are actually very irrelevant. Like I'm actually so irrelevant. Like sure, like this month I've been all over, and which is why like sure, like I'm talking to people, but I'm irrelevant as fuck, right? Like if noise doesn't work, there is no merit to me. So like just um, keep trying. Like this is just like even if it fails, like just like show up the next weekend. Like that's literally what we did when we shut down Custom. We showed up the next weekend, and somehow we've been on the fortunate side so far with attraction, with a bunch of things that we've done. So yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. This has been amazing. Would love to see what you guys do next. But thank you so much, TK, for coming on.
Thanks,
Pleasure
TK.
is my own boss. And thank you. Bye.